Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Ooh, 6 people already. All right, so tell me who's watching and where you're from. I'm posting the links to our live, so give me just a second and we'll get started. Post this link absolutely everywhere. It's kind of annoying. Who do we got with us? I know the comments take a second to load, so comment where you're watching from. Hello, hello, everyone. This will not be as long as my other town hall, so get in now because this will be a quick one. Comment where you're watching from. If you're watching from Nantucket. Hello, Facebook user. Hi, Eric. How are you? If you're on Facebook, you have to hit that little link that says show your name, or else I won't be able to tell who you are, but it's fine. I will love you regardless, I promise. I just won't be able to say your name. All right. Missouri City, Texas. All right. Maryland. Yes, thank you, Eric. Thank you for all the support. Hey, Lanice. Oh, I'm so glad you made it to Ryla. I say that real country. Rally, Ryla. I'm glad you made it to where you're supposed to be. I'm glad you're safe. We had a really good discussion before you left. So, hello, Michelle. I almost said your Alvo name because I'm used to your Alvo name. All right, we're going to give people a couple. We're going to, in 2 minutes, we're going to give people 2 more minutes. But while we do that, I am super excited to be back on lives now. Yes, Awo Ola Iya. Yes. I'm so excited to be back doing lives again. I haven't done one in a while. Obviously, I've been super busy. I finally left my second job and all that other stuff. So I have more time to do the things that I need to do. So that's why I haven't been live for a while. I have more time. Sorry, I'm sharing this link so I can hear myself. Sorry. But yeah, so a lot's been going on. A lot. And we got some really fun stuff in the coven coming up. If you guys are not a part of the coven, or if you are, there's lots of things happening. So super excited to be back in front of you all. And we're going to get started. I'm going to pull it up on my phone because technology is slow. So, all right. Hello, everyone. I am Omoworare, Ogbonyoni, also known as Queen T, and I am a goddaughter of Priestess Oshun Funke, and I'm the creator of Enchanted Vibes and the co-owner of Vibe and High, and been doing a lot the past couple months, so I haven't really been here, but I've been getting things together, and I'm really happy to be back in front of you guys today. So this particular discussion is going to be about things you can do to live a better enchanted life. So I will be releasing an Enchanted Living series. So all the things I'm going to talk about in this video, there will be sister videos to this where it goes over each topic more in depth. But this is just going to be like a quick little summary of those things, a little preview, if you will. And I'm going to be summarizing that information and answering questions and stuff that you may have. And the things you put in this live, the things you ask in this live will be helpful when I'm making the videos because I can address them when I make the full video if it's not something that I haven't already addressed. So please give me your feedback during this live. Oh, hello. I'm assuming that's Ashanti from Alabama, repping Peachland. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Um, so as always, I love hearing from you. So go ahead and post all your questions, comments, and concerns in the comments because I like community discussions. I don't want to just talk at you guys. I'm not the one that's going to be teaching you how to make oils and lamps and all that stuff. All the other priestesses are great at that stuff. I'm going to be the one that's going to talk to you, and we're going to be talking about real stuff. So today we're going to go over a few ways to live a more enchanted life. And first, I will explain what I mean by enchanted life. So, as you know, I'm all about enchanting, enchanted vibes, all that. But it's more than just like herbs and magic type things. Magic type things. Anything can be enchanted. Just like when your car is acting up and you put your hands on the steering wheel and you start rubbing it and caressing it and praying that it just, works and gets you to where you need to get to. That's enchanting, basically. You're asking it to work for you to reach a goal. So living enchanted life is to do things with intentions and to speak good things into your life and the lives of those around you. It's basically my definition of enchanting. So before I go through my list, I want to hear from you in the comments. What are some ways to live an enchanted life based on my description? What are some ways you think that you can live an enchanted life? And if you mention one that I don't already plan to discuss, I can add that to like the back of the video just in case we have a little extra time. If we fly through this, then we can talk about those things a little bit more in depth. So what are some ways that you all can think of where you can live an enchanted life? I see some comments popping up. They're mostly hellos. Y'all got anything? Okay. All right. So the first one I have is goal setting. So, or some people call it manifesting. Okay, wait. Ashanti says being in a constant state of gratitude and of command. Yes. So, what I think you mean by command is when you speak things into existence. So when you say, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, those types of things are when you're speaking in a constant state of like command. That's what I think that means. So you tell me if that's right, Ashanti, if that's what you meant. Eric says this is new to him, so teach me. So yes. Okay, good. That's what you meant, Ashanti. Very good. Yes. Speaking things into existence, manifesting, that is, enchanting your life, so to speak. So, like I said, one of the easiest ways to do this is goal setting. So write it down, make it plain, as the saying goes. Put a checklist in the emoji. If you're on your phone, put a checklist in the emoji or the checklist emoji in the comments if you do this. Like if you actually write down your goals. Or if you can't do emojis, just put like goal setting. Just write goals, something like that. That way I know that you guys, this is something you already practice. Um, if you have specific things you want to accomplish, you should always write them down. And not only write down those goals, but then write down ways to get to that goal. So if the big goal is a house, then you should write down the ways that you need, the things that you need to do to get to that house. So you should write the amount that you want to spend. Um, you should probably write the neighborhood, or the city if you want to move cities. Write down, if you want to have a big yard, if you want to have a 3-car garage, write about specific things about that house that you want. And then also write how you're going to get to that house. So if you need to fix your credit, if you need to dispute some things or pay some things off, if you need to build your credit by getting a little credit card and being responsible with it so that your credit score goes up, paying things on time. There's all types of things that go into the part before you actually even can start really looking at a house. Um, so things like that. That's what goal setting is. Not just setting the goal, but making actionable steps in order to get to that goal. That is a way to enchant your life, because if you're focusing on all of the steps, not just the big step, you're focusing on all the little things and getting all the little things done, the universe has to give you that thing because you're doing all the things you need to do to get to the thing, right? So that's the general idea of that. Sorry, my screen keeps going down. All right. So does anyone have anything to add about goal setting? Any comments, questions, or concerns that you have about that? And if not, we will move on to the next one. We're already at 12 minutes, y'all. This is crazy. These lives go so fast. All right, I don't see any questions yet, so we'll move on and I'll come back if I need to. So going along with the setting of goals is also, um, and part of that is writing detailed steps is a way of enchanting yourself. And going along with enchanting yourself, um, meditation is a great way to enchant yourself. So if you have ever meditated before, you can put the little meditation emoji, the one that looks like yoga pose, or just type meditation, either one. If you meditate, type that. How important is it to know the steps to reach said goal? I think it really just depends on the goal. As far as buying a house, you need to know the steps of buying a house before you buy one, right? Um, you should educate yourself in the process of doing what it is you want to do. So buying a car is a little bit easier because most of us have done that before. We don't really need to be taught how to do that. But if you've never bought a house, you should probably look into how to buy a house. Most of us have a realtor friend that we could go to and ask questions. So that's important. Um, if it's another type of goal, like start a business, I would encourage you. Most of us have friends who have started a business. So talk to your friend, ask them what it is that they did, look into the type of business that you want to start, and figure out how that process works, because not all businesses are the same. If you're starting a apothecary, is going to be different than starting a car dealership, which is going to be started different than a grocery store, which is going to be different than a bakery. So you really should do some research as to what your goal is. Do some research in that field. That way you know what to expect. Never go into any type of big thing like life-changing goal blind at all. You definitely need to prepare yourself for that. So excellent question, Eric. Thank you. Um, yes, writing goals and writing goals and desires is very important. So meditation. This is kind of a big one. And this is essential regardless of what your spiritual path is. You don't even have to be a spiritual person to meditate, and you should still definitely do it because it's good for your body. It's not it's good for your mental health. It's good for your physical health. Meditating is so much more than just sitting there quietly for 5 minutes or whatever. Um, and I'll go deeper into what meditation is. But it's also a time for those that walk with you to communicate with you, and you can focus on listening. So if you are a spiritual person, doesn't really matter what kind of spiritual person you are. You could be Christian, you could be Buddhist, you could be in one of the many ATRs that there are. Meditation is super important, and the energy around you will definitely respond to that level of calm and peace within you, so to speak. Um, for me personally, I've come out of meditation with solutions to problems or a better understanding of what it is I need to do to move forward. And I usually don't meditate for very long. I usually do like 5 minutes a few times a day. Every time I pray, I meditate right after. And that just helps me calm my spirit and listen. And I have felt the energies around me of those that walk with me, and I've sometimes been able to identify who they are because I was meditating and I was listening and I was feeling the space and the energy around me. And I've also received very clear and very specific directions in my meditations. So that's also been helpful. Hello, good afternoon. Um, and what you experience will be based on where you are in your journey. So it just depends. Everybody experiences meditation different. Some people can sit there and just blank out and space out, not think of anything, and just be calm. Some people, like I said, get downloads. They hear the messages of those that walk with them. Um, Sometimes, depending upon how I'm meditating, I might fall asleep because I zone out so hard. I've done that more than once, actually, because I was so focused on emptying my mind. And that's how I get myself to go to sleep. Sometimes I empty my mind and I fall asleep. So I've definitely fallen asleep during meditating. So sitting straight up too, like definitely sleep. Um, I've also found that if I'm doing a working, if I meditate over it, it helps power it. So it's not necessarily praying over it, which I do that too. But if I'm close to my working and I have my hands on it somehow, if it's a candle, I'll put my hands on at the base of it so it's not getting hot. Or if I have it on a mirror, I'll put my hands on the mirror that the candle is on, or the plate, something that's not really that hot. Um, if it's a sachet, I have it in my hand. All different types of things. If I'm touching the working and I meditate over the working, usually those workings are a lot stronger than my regular ones. And that's most of my strongest ones have been fed, so to speak, by meditating. Does anyone else have any questions about meditation before we move to the next one? We're just moving right along. I told you I'm not going to try and take up too much of your time today. I missed you guys so much. So I'm checking the comments, make sure I didn't miss anything. All right. So, right into meditation. After meditation is prayer. Okay. So, if you pray, put those little prayer hands, which is really a high five. Did you know that the one like this, you can type prayer, but supposedly that's supposed to be a high five. But anyway, put those little prayer hands up if you pray, or just type praying if you pray. It doesn't even have to be regularly, but if you do pray, put that in the comments. Um, or type prayer warrior. So a lot of people, if you're familiar with church atmosphere, you have prayer warriors, right? So specific people in the church or in your family that pray super hard. They pray over everybody, and not just like that, oh yeah, I'm gonna pray for you. Like, no, they really like pray for you, and audibly and loudly. um those are prayer warriors, and usually it works. A lot of people have a grandmother that prayed for them. I think that's in a Kendrick Lamar song where he talks about um, his grandmother praying for me. Oh, because his grandmother passed, nobody's praying for him now. That is a real thing. Praying with intentions has drastically changed my life. For those of you in ATR, you know that the importance of prayer in your daily life, right? Um, or really in any type of religious um, regimen, there's praying, right? Um, if you've had an ancestral life path reading, which you should get, if you go to the link that's scrolling at the bottom of this video, if you type that in, there is links to our community and ways to get your ancestral life path reading. It will not be done by me. It'll be done by one of the priestesses, one of the more senior priestesses, and they're amazing. So you should definitely get one of those. If you had that reading, though, you know when it is you should be praying, right? At the times where the energies around you are more susceptible to listen and answer. Has anybody in the comments had their ancestral life path reading? Just type had a reading if you've had one. I want to see how many people have had one. They are life changing, by the way. You should definitely get one. Let me go back down a little bit. Sorry. Your ancestors and your Ori are the most important part of finding your path. And so my reading was essential in helping get the foundation of my practice together, because it wasn't necessarily together. I was just doing my little assignments, but I didn't have like a regimen every day. Okay, somebody's going to have theirs done on Tuesday. A couple people have already had their readings. That's fantastic. I immediately saw a change. And then also using the PRAY method. So who knows what PRAY stands for? If you know what it stands for, put the answer in the comments. I want to see how many of y'all have been paying attention in mentorship, because there's a few of y'all on here. Michelle says she plans to get another ancestral life path reading as well. Yes, they are absolutely fantastic. You definitely should have one done by the priestess. I will make sure that the link is attached to this video here pretty soon. All right, so the P stands for praise. All right. All right, somebody got it. Praise, repent, ask, and yes. Yes. So I'm going to have a video specifically talking about praying as part of the Enchanted Living series. And I will go into a deeper explanation of this. But it's praise, repent, ask, yes. And I will say with the repent part, because a lot of people think of like Catholicism, it's not necessarily like confessing your sins or anything like that. It's more of acknowledging where you've fallen short and self accountability. It's not like anything crazy. Some people hear repent and they automatically go negative. It is not like that. Yield is another version of that, but in the particular book that we use, it is yes, or reaffirm. Yes, Michelle, great job. Whatever your belief system is, prayer is essential. And even as an atheist, you typically believe in science and the laws of the universe, right? So therefore, you understand the concept of giving the energy you would like to receive. So you can still use this knowledge to ask the universe to bring you what you need to have a more fulfilled life. Praying is not just for people who are religious. I just want to point that out as well. So does anyone have anything else to add about prayer before I move to the next thing? You guys are so interactive. I love it. I love when people type in the comment section. It makes me happy. All right. Another great thing you can do, which is the one that people don't really like to do, this is like the least favorite, it's exercise. So you don't need to do the most. Like, you don't have to be training for the Arnold Classic, okay? You don't have to do a whole bunch, but a little bit of exercise is good for everyone. If you exercise, and you can do emojis, put a dumbbell in the comments, or just type exercise. If you exercise on a, you exercise, I won't even say a regular basis. If occasionally you walk back and forth to the corner purposefully, go ahead and put exercise. Yes, E, I know you love to practice and you love to exercise because you post all your wonderful pictures of you in the gym. And I am so proud of you and your journey. It's amazing. Definitely inspirational to people like me who have been slacking. Okay, Michelle. All right, Michelle exercises. Love to see it. Simply tracking your steps, like little things. You don't have to like really go hard, but tracking your steps and then setting a goal, just a simple little step goal. Like you track your steps for a week and see what your average is, and then try to just bump it up a little bit. So, say your average is 3,000 steps every day for a week, try to make it 4,000 instead. You don't have to do crazy stuff. You don't have to be one of these people on the TikTok and the other things making all these cutesy videos with your waist trainer, getting your booty plump and all that other stuff. You ain't got to do all that. I mean, you could, but you know, if that's not who you normally are, starting small is good. But exercise is important. Um, Yoga is wonderful. If anyone has ever done yoga, and you do not have to start off with those crazy poses. If you do yoga, put a cartwheel. Put a cartwheel because that's a stretchy. That's the like closest stretchy emoji there is. If you do yoga, put a cartwheel or just type yoga, either one. Um, like I said, you do not have to start with those wild poses. You do not have to be super flexible. I cannot do my splits anymore. I used to be able to do them when I was dancing at Ballet Net. I can't do that anymore. I'm still flexible, but not that flexible. Um, and I haven't done yoga in a while because I've been slacking. Yes, to the cartwheel. Um, I've been slacking. So uh, I am not very flexible at the moment. I had surgery in July, for those of you who don't know. So that kind of like slowed my progress because for 8 weeks I couldn't do anything. And I also fractured my hand like a couple weeks before that. So I couldn't put pressure on my hand for like 3 months. So that kind of deterred me from doing any the yoga that I'm used to. I could have been stretching once I was healed from my surgery, but it was an abdominal surgery, so I was scared because I didn't want to rip anything in there. No, I did not get a tummy tuck. I still got fat. um, but yeah, you can go to like YouTube and type in beginner yoga. That's how I started. And I found one that was super, super easy. There's like 1,000,000,000 bazillion videos. Um, but anyway, the gym is great, but it's not for everyone. So, what are some other ways that you can exercise? I want to see how you guys exercise. Eric, I know you go to the gym, but what are some other light exercises you all do? I want to see what kind of exercises y'all do because I might need to add it to my little repertoire. I need to get a system going for exercise because I'm gaining weight in the wrong places. I did see that some of y'all do yoga. That's great. What else do we do? Does anybody play like a sport or like in a league? I know some people have like there's adult leagues for basketball and football. Playing with the kids, they fast. Yes, they are. My kids, my son will be 14 in 2 days. We had his party today, earlier today, but he will be 14 in 2 days, and my youngest will be 9 in 3 weeks. And when we go to the park, there's this game called Mommy Monster. So at this particular park, all the equipment is kind of like in a circle, and there's a small part in the middle where there's not really anything. And I can stand there. I used to stand there when they were little, and I would like try to grab them through the bars and stuff. And they started calling it Mommy Monster. And do y'all know that we were at the park last week and they were like, so can we play Mommy Monster? My about to be 14-year-old son and my almost 9-year-old still want me to play Mommy Monster. Like, this is a real thing. My scarf is slipping, y'all. Sorry. This is a real thing. So definitely having kids will keep you running around. I have a 3-year-old and she keeps me running. Yes. Let's see. Walk, yoga, at home cardio, drinking, dance parties. That's funny. You're funny, Eric, because that is exactly what we did almost a year ago or 2 years ago when quarantine started. We were at your house dancing way too hard for no reason. It was a great time though. And I lost a lot of weight during quarantine, even though I was home for 5 weeks, but whatever. All right. So we have two more things, right? So the next thing we're going to talk about is fasting. This is something that is very basic thing that everyone should do every now and then. So if you've ever fasted before, put an apple emoji or just type fasting. I want to see how many people fast. Um, and then type what kind of fasting you've done too. So like if you've done like the Daniel fast, which is one that's based in usually like Black Christian church. I've heard of that one. Some people do juice fasting. Some people do those detoxes where you only have like lemon juice or whatever it is. Um, there's a bazillion different ways to fast. And yes, intermittent fasting is actually very healthy. Just like if you've ever done, I can't remember, Sean T is the name of the dude, but if you've ever done any of his workouts, it's intermittent. And I don't know why I can't say that right now. I'm hungry. That's what it is. I done put on this lipstick and I couldn't eat. Y'all know I love to eat. um, but it's intermittent fasting or it's intermittent exercise. And that's actually way better than just like going hard for too long at a time. So, all right. Somebody said they've done a few juice fasts. That's cool. I've never tried a juice fast. Not really. Because I'll be wanting like real food. Like I can do a salad. Like, can I have salad? Salad is fine, right? Vegetables. Can I have some green beans? Because I'll eat a whole can of green beans. But Michelle says she fasts regularly. That's awesome. I fast every Thursday now. Thursday is my fasting day. Um, and fasting is more than just food, right? So you can fast with activities, certain activities that probably aren't necessarily best for you. You can have an alcohol fast where you go, if you drink, usually go out and drink regularly, or if you usually have wine before bed or something like that, you can definitely um, go, try a week without it. I used to do Lent every year. Now I was not Catholic. My grandmother was Catholic because she was German, but definitely went to many a mass. But I was not ever like Catholic. But I think the practice of giving up something that can be considered a vice is a good thing. So every year I would give up something. One year I was vegan, and that only lasted 11 of the 40 days. I couldn't do it. I went to being vegetarian instead. Um, Giving up meat was easier than giving up like eggs. Like eggs are still meat, but it's a little bit different. But like giving up ranch or giving like bread, because a lot of bread is made with dairy or egg, depending upon where you get it from. So that kind of destroys the whole vegan thing, which I didn't know. I didn't know how much animal was in our food. Um, I've given up fast food. So anything that had a drive through, I couldn't eat there the entire time of Lent. Um, Different things that you can do. It doesn't just necessarily have to be food. A few years ago, I was trying to lose weight. I weighed like 50 pounds more than what I weigh now. And I did raw days. So I picked once or twice a week where all I ate was raw fruit and vegetables. I can have as much as I wanted, but that was it. I did let myself have yogurt and I let myself have ranch because I'm not eating a raw carrot without some ranch on it. Sorry. And yes, days without drinking, sure, that counts, especially because you are known for making alcohol. That's kind of your little niche. So yeah, that totally counts, Eric. Um, but on my raw days, just eat raw fruits and vegetables, nothing else. And doing it about twice a week, lost so much weight because I was already active and running and stuff wasn't making me lose weight at all. And I'm not one to completely give up things because I like cupcakes, right? So I just picked like 1 or 2 days a week, didn't eat anything but raw fruit and vegetables, and I lost a whole lot of weight. And the other days I ate whatever I wanted. So if I wanted pizza, cupcakes, whatever, I ate that. But on those days, I did not. And I lost so so much weight. And after a while, I actually stopped craving sweet as much. So I would like them. Like occasionally I would have them, but like the sweet tooth cravings went away because I was putting so much more fruit and vegetables into my body. So that was very helpful. And not long after that, it actually helped with my spiritual journey, which I didn't know at the time. But right when about a couple months after I started doing that, I really started to get more into looking into ATRs, specifically Ifa, because I am Nigerian. I'm very Nigerian. I know you can't tell by looking at me, but I am very Nigerian. But my mind was much more clear. I had way more energy than I had had in like years, and everything around me started to fall into place. So other events around me started to happen as well that kind of put me where I was supposed to be simply by fasting. And not, like I said, I wasn't starving myself. Those couple days, the first couple days I was hungry. But once my body got used to giving this up every couple days a week, it was easy to have raw days. And people would see me eating like, oh, it's raw day. And then they'd be like, oh, okay. And they'd find things for me to eat that were raw. I love my friends. You guys are great. But because I was vibrating higher, so were the things around me. So my spiritual gifts started to come back. Some of them I had repressed from when I was a kid because I didn't understand them and I was terrified of them and I was raised Christian and I didn't know how to handle them. But once I started fasting regularly in a way that made sense for me, um, some of those things started to come back. Um, but like in a way that didn't give me a breakdown because, like I said, some of my spiritual gifts are a little crazy. And that's why I repressed them as a kid. Um, but I do not think that was by coincidence. So fasting is definitely important. So we're on to the last one now, guys. So the last little tip I'm going to give you in order to live a more enchanted life um, is parenting. Last but not least, right? Parenting. So if you have children, put like a baby emoji or how many kids you have. Like I have two living children. Um, like I said, one will be 14 in the next 2 days, and the other one will be 9 in 3 weeks. So if you have children, I want to see how many kids y'all got. I'm nosy, just kidding. um, but children and kids and parenting. So I'm going to have two videos on parenting for the Enchanted Living series. It was originally supposed to be one, and as I was writing out what I wanted to say, it became two because there's so much that is goes into parenting. So, for the sake of time, I'm only going to talk about one thing in this live. And does anybody know of a way that you can enchant your children? You can actually enchant your children. Does anybody know of how? I'm going to talk about one, but there's a couple. Uh, E says he has two boys. Yes, my godson is one of them. And I saw the oldest one at his place of work because my youngest child is always there. So I get to see at least one of them regularly. Anybody know a way to enchant your children? Okay, I'm going to tell you. um, the easiest way to enchant your children is to speak life into them. So, ooh, twin girls. I'm going to pray for you. Oh, two girls. Okay. Okay. Two girls. Speak life into your children. Okay. So this is a little bit different than praying. So when you're praying for them, you're praying that, they have wisdom and that they do good things and that they are successful and that type of thing. But speaking life into them is like encouragement on steroids. So it's not simply giving them compliments. Although that is a wonderful start, even when correcting or disciplining them, you can speak life into them. Instead of asking, "Are you dumb?" which some parents, especially if you grew up how I grew up, um, you do something wrong and they'll be like, "Are you dumb?" Like, we don't think about the things that we say to children, right? So you can say things like, "You're too smart for this," when they're doing something that is completely off the wall and they know they shouldn't have done it and you have no idea why they even thought to do it. Saying things like, "You're too smart for this," be, it's better than asking in the negative, right? Because you're still, it's not really giving them a compliment, but you're really enforcing the fact that they are smart. They're not, you know, one of these kids that eats pencil lead or something. And you can also ask them questions and then listen to their answer and acknowledge the way that they are thinking. So, and acknowledging who they are as a person, not just their look. So plenty of people say, "Oh, you're so cute, you're so handsome," those type of things. But how many people are actually speaking on the intelligence of their child, to their child, not just other people, telling their child how smart they are, how creative they are, um, the ways that they think. My kids do stuff, and I'm like, I never would have thought of that. Like, I don't even, you're freaking amazing because I never would have thought of that. Stuff like that to really encourage your children that their way of thinking is okay. They can find solutions to things or whatever it is in their own way, and it's perfectly fine. Um, and also, how many people tell their children or express to their children or teach their children that they are worthy of unconditional love with no strings attached? So that's something else. Many people will tell them it's okay to not allow someone to remain. I'm sorry. Many people will tell them it's okay to not have. I can't talk today. We have this bad habit of making kids think they have to keep certain people in their life, just because of who these people are. And that is not the case. A lot of us have, as in our being adult, we have learned that there's certain people we just don't need to be around. And those people are typically family. And so it's okay to not allow someone to remain in their life who disrespects them. That is something we have to be better at teaching our children. And like I said, it's regardless of who that person is. Um, we if somebody's going to continually disrespect you and treat you less than, then you don't have to be around that person just because they're a parent or a grandparent or an aunt or uncle or somebody that you've known since you were 6. Like, it doesn't matter. Haters can be gone at all points. um, and then how many parents actually really take the time to sit with their children and discuss the uncomfortable conversations like sex, drugs, alcohol, other than simply telling them not to do it, right? So, and that's something also that we have to get better at. Once kids get to a certain age, they're going to be them and do them, and we need to understand that we do not own our children or their entire lives. So we want them to grow up to be respectful badasses, not disrespectful badasses, right? So certain things we just kind of gotta give to the universe and let the universe take care of it. I'm not going to say how you should say it, but we need to have better conversations with our kids regarding sex and alcohol, and simply telling them no, don't do that is not teaching them anything. I'll say it like that. um, One of the primary jobs as a parent is to prepare them for life without you. So everybody remembers Black Panther. And if you remember when he first goes back to the ancestral realm after his father dies, and he says something about not being ready to be without him. And his father says, "A man who has not prepared his children for his death has failed them." And he asked, "Have I ever failed you?" And he said, "No." So we have to get better at preparing our children for life without us, not necessarily because we died, but just preparing them to live on their own and be their own person and take care of things that they need to take care of so that they're not always running to us for solutions. Yes, if they need help, come, but you want them to be their own person and figure things out in a way that's best for them. And God forbid that you're not here. You want them to be able to do that when you aren't. So speak life into your children so they are not lost upon your death. And that's where I'll leave that. So, how do y'all feel about the things we talked about today? Everybody feeling good? Does anybody have, what questions do you have? Questions, comments, or concerns? And while you type your questions, I'll just say that if you like to learn more about, if you would like to learn more or want to get started in your spiritual path, I will make sure that I post the link in the comments to this video once I post it. To our Covens page and our community outreach program. And some other stuff will be in there too, and you can check them all out. If you're watching from my YouTube page, make sure that you like and subscribe so that you can be notified when I go live next Saturday. I go live every Saturday at 4:30, and I'll just be summarizing key points of the videos that I have released more recently from that. This is also a wonderful time to add to the discussion by sharing your experiences and become part of the conversation. So that's what my lives are about. And it doesn't look like anybody has any questions. So I will end this one here. Like I said, I'll post the link here in a second to the comments afterward. But until next time, keep your head so high that you can't even see the haters. Love y'all. Peace.